Hello, I'm Brenda. I live in Georgia, and I have been a registered Republican for over 27 years. I am a retired member of the Foreign Service. I served in the Diplomatic Corps in various embassies during my 14-plus year career. I voted for Trump. I could not vote for Hillary Clinton. I cannot and I will not forget Benghazi. Those were my colleagues who were murdered. And I guess I held a grudge. I didn't vote for Trump as much as I voted against Hillary. Didn't like him. Didn't like the way he talked, particularly the way he talked to women and people of color. And I was willing to look past a lot because I felt, and I actually do still feel, that the swamp does need to be cleared. The problem is that he hasn't cleared the swamp. He has made everything 100, if not 1,000 times worse. What he has done to this country, to the United States' reputation abroad, it's simply unbelievable, and it's heartbreaking. When I tell you that I have cried and that my heart has been broken time and time again when I have seen what Trump has done to our reputation abroad, I'm not kidding. The damage that he has done with our reputation abroad it's not going to take 1 4-year term of a new president. It is going to take decades. It will possibly even take several generations, if it's even possible, for the United States to regain a place at the table. Right now, we don't have a place at the table internationally. Hell, we don't even have a seat on the porch. Sometimes I am just simply beyond words. And believe me, if you knew me, you would know that that doesn't happen very often. But the fact of the matter is that we are talking about possibly the worst president this country has ever had. I personally can't think of anyone any worse. Perhaps someone can. I think that our country is in more danger now than we have been at any time since the McCarthy era in the 50s. And prior to that, since 1776. Our democracy is at stake. And I will, to my everlasting shame, confess that as much as I disliked Trump and the way that he spoke, I continued to support him until April 20th. And April 20th was the day that the line in the sand was crossed for me. When he stood there and on national TV said, for God and everybody to hear, that he had total authority, I was done. Because I have read the U.S. Constitution, and I have read the Bill of Rights, and I have read all of the amendments to our Constitution. And nowhere in that sacred document is anyone given total authority over the American people. To even consider saying those words is in total opposition to everything that the Declaration of Independence, that our Constitution, and every one of its amendments stand for. It is against democracy. It is against everything that I, as a Republican, have revered and treasured and cherished. I have already voted in my home state of Georgia, and I voted for the first time in my life a blue ticket all the way down. I have called my senators and I have called my congressional representative, and I can tell you that not a single one of them have responded to me either by phone or by email, and oh yes, I have written them by email also, they know that they are complicit. They know exactly what they have done to enable this man who stands against everything that Americans and American democracy stand for in the world. As a diplomat, I was proud back in 2004 to be sworn in. And here, I don't know if you can see it, but here you can see a picture of my swearing in with Secretary of State Colin Powell. One of the other proudest days of my career was when I was in Albania. And it was my privilege and my honor to work on the first U.S. presidential visit to Albania. And it was my privilege and my honor to meet President George Bush and to see him and the First Lady Laura Bush in action in Albania and representing the United States proudly. What we have today is a president who is a disgrace. I'm not proud to be the face of America to the world any longer. It breaks my heart. It is a shame. Having served abroad for the better part of my almost 15-year career, I have many friends in the international community. You know, some who are diplomats for other countries, some who did work with nonprofit organizations, some who worked for various international companies. And it is embarrassing and it is heartbreaking to have my friends reach out to me and tell me how sorry they are that Trump is in office. And while I was very flattered, it broke my heart when a very good friend of mine, who is Canadian, called me one day to tell me that her 80-year-old father was so worried about me that he offered to marry me so that I could immigrate to Canada. That is what Trump has done to America, where our friends and our allies are that worried and that concerned about our country and about the personal safety of their friends. That is what we have been reduced to. It's not just that we're a joke, and that's demeaning enough, but it's the worry and the concern that our friends abroad have for our country and for those of us they know personally. I beg, I beseech anyone who has not yet made up their mind to please vote not only for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, but vote a blue ticket all the way down the line, because those members of the Senate and those members who seat in the who are seated in the House of Representatives are complicit. They know what he is, and they have facilitated and they have allowed him to be the most despicable excuse for a president that we have ever had in my memory. Thank you. Have a good day, and please, please vote.